our esteemed Dean, Professor S.S. Murthy, our respected guest, Srimati Vatsala Narasimham, and her colleagues. I, Dr. Deepti Chandra, on behalf of Institute of Public Enterprise, Hyderabad, colleagues, staff, and administration, extend a very warm welcome to all the distinguished guests, speakers, and dear students. We are extremely delighted and honored to host this orientation program of PGP 2018-20 today. And it is the 5th day today of our program. I realize you all have been fully dedicated to all the sessions and will also be dedicated to all the sessions that will follow. I request Ms. Anisha to please welcome our guests with a bouquet. Thank you so much, Anisha. Now I request Professor S.S. Murthy to please introduce our guests to our students.
Thank you, Dr. Deepti Chandra. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. Respected Madam Vatsala Garu, Madam Shyamala Khanna, Madam Joy, and dear friends. Today we have a session from Talent Sprint's team. I should say a few words about what is Talent Sprint and what is the collaboration between IP and Talent Sprint. Talent Sprint is one of the renowned recruiting firms in South India. They recruit people for various corporates. So they are specialists in recruitment, and IP board thought of having collaboration with the Talent Sprint so that we can mold the students as per the industry requirements. As you are aware, the selection process followed by various recruiters include version test, then they will look into your CVs and percentages, whether you are having a 60% all through or whatever criteria they follow. They use that as one of the shortlisting criteria. Then version test, then you have aptitude test. To filter the candidates, they have their own aptitude test. Different companies, they have different aptitude tests. And then they conduct group discussion and then personal interview. So we have incorporated all the modules into our curriculum. Talent Sprint team will actually deliver these modules. The first module to you in the first trimester is business communications and personality development. So they have designed this curriculum and they will deliver. Totally we have about 9 sections. For all the 9 sections, different team members will come and deliver the subject. They have the similar methodology followed. And then, of course, in the 3rd trimester, you have a paper on business aptitude. We have incorporated as part of curriculum as a credit course so that you will take full interest in that. You are rewarded for that. And they will enable you to do a lot of practice tests. For example, aptitude test means they will give you in advance what type of tests are conducted by TCS, Deloitte. Whenever a company comes for recruitment, a few days before that, similar tests are given online to you so that you can practice at home. So within the classroom also, they will talk more about communication skills, oral, written communication skills, then various aptitude tests. What is the short way of solving a problem? You know, it's very important that you should solve as many questions as possible in the given time. That's where you really win over others. Though you are, most of them are engineering students, but the techniques of solving this aptitude test of reasoning and so many analytical questions, so all these things are covered in a systematic manner in the classroom. These are very important courses. We have a very good association with Talent Sprint. So I actually thank Vatsala Madam and her team for coming over here this morning, and they will be explaining to you the entire course curriculum, how they are going to deliver. So then over to Vatsala Madam. Thank you.
A very warm welcome to all of you. Good morning, beautiful people. Okay, are you all excited to be here as part of IP? Okay, so a little introduction about Talent Sprint and what we do, our mission and vision, and how we have designed the curriculum to suit IP. So, how many of y'all have heard of Talent Sprint? Raise your hands. Quite a few. Wow. So, can you tell me, what have you heard about Talent Sprint? Can someone raise your hand and tell me what Talent Sprint is all about? See, we are here to train you in business communication, and we believe that you have to do most of the talking. If you look at the way I'm structured, you can easily see I don't do too much work. I get people do work. Yes? Do you see it? And nice and healthy. So I get other people do work. So can you please, one of you, raise your hands? I saw quite a few members raising their hands. Now, I can still spot someone and ask you, what do you know about Talent Sprint? There are no minus marks for wrong answers.
To the candidates and they, send them for placements.
Okay.
Yeah, and you send them for placements to the various companies.
Also have a retail version. We train graduates, engineering graduates, management graduates, and also people who aspire for banking exams, which is completely online. We also train professionals, and we train for high skills, like fintech, blockchain, artificial intelligence, and machine learning, which are the niche programs nowadays. We do it for professionals too. So, a little about Talent Sprint. Okay, so we are India's leading youth career accelerator, and enabling, as I told you, we train management students, engineering students to help them find their dream job. So, how did we start it? This company was started in the year 2009. The CEO of this company, Shantanu Paul, is a PhD from Ann Arbor. Okay, so we have, the management team is made of people who have had industry experience. Though we are a skill development organization in the business of learning, we have a management who understands the industry, and if you see, have worked in the industry in very serious senior positions before starting this organization. So, Shantanu Paul, who is the CEO of Talent Sprint, is an IIT, an alumnus of IIT, and has worked in Virtusa as the global head. And K. Sridhar, I think Sridhar takes a couple of sessions, or used to take a couple of sessions in IPE. He was heading Karvi Consultancy. And Ashokan Pichai, who is our learning and development head, has around 40 years experience. So none of them, if you look at combined experience of that group, the leadership group, it is around almost 100 years. Yeah? Okay? So now when we see the kind of vision that they have, we believe in actually transforming India. That's our mission. Okay? We plan to empower 1 million youth by 2020. We are getting there, and that is thanks to our online portal, where we have a lot of online training happening for the banking sector. Okay, so what are the 3 basic foundations that we work on? The first foundation we believe is customer comes first, which means IPE, you students are our customers. So, what does that tell you? That we listen to you? Yes? Should we listen to you? Or should you listen to us? Yes, though we say customer comes first, let's look at this scenario. Let's say you're not well, you go to the doctor. You are the doctor's customer. Does he listen to you, or you listen to him or her? Both. So what does the doctor do? Understands what you're going through, understands your symptoms, understands what you're going through. But what does the doctor do? Prescribe. Does he prescribe very tasty medicines? No. If you need to have injections, he will also give you injections. Yes? So it's very important, though we do say customer, yes, they come first, but I'd like you all to think of you as patients and the team from Talent Sprint as doctors. Okay, so we do know that customer comes first, we will listen to you, but however, for you to scale up, it is very, very important you follow the prescriptions that is set by us. Okay, the second is quality in everything that we do. Yes, we believe that we have to understand the generation that is in front of us, and we always make sure that we enhance the curriculum, constantly change the curriculum to meet the needs of the industry. We do not have a fixed syllabus. We do not have something that is fixed. We always tailor-make it to the generation that is in front of us. So you will have a lot of video-based training, a lot of activity-based training in your sessions. And we always look as innovation for scale. We firmly believe that if we innovate and go on to reach the students through the digital media, we will reach far. So innovation to scale is the third mission, or the three core values that drive our training. Okay, so we have, if you look at the awards that we have been recognized both in the national circle and internationally too. Okay, so now I'm going to come to how we have designed this curriculum for y'all. Do y'all think getting a job is easy? How many of y'all think getting a job is easy? Raise your hands. I don't want y'all to lose confidence and say it's going to be very difficult. It is going to become easy for those who are focused and start looking at what needs to do from the very beginning. Now, before I go on to talking to you about what our program is, I'm going to show you a short video, and then we will have a discussion on that. Is that okay, guys? Yeah, thank you.
So this is my niece. Her name is Yali. She is 9 months old. Her mum is a doctor and her dad is a lawyer. By the time Yali goes to college, the jobs her parents do are going to look dramatically different. In 2013, researchers at Oxford University did a study on the future of work. They concluded that almost 1 in every 2 jobs have a high risk of being automated by machines. Now, machine learning is the technology that's responsible for most of this disruption. It's the most powerful branch of artificial intelligence. It allows machines to learn from data and mimic some of the things that humans can do. Now, my company, Kaggle, operates on the cutting edge of machine learning. We bring together hundreds of thousands of experts to solve important problems for industry and academia. So this gives us a unique perspective on what machines can do, what they can't do, and what jobs they might automate or threaten. So machine learning started making its way into industry in the early 90s, and it started with relatively simple tasks. It started with things like assessing credit risk for loan applications, sorting the mail by reading handwritten characters from zip codes. Over the past few years, we have made dramatic breakthroughs. Machine learning is now capable of far, far more complex tasks. In 2012, Kaggle challenged its community to build an algorithm that could grade high school essays. The winning algorithms were able to match the grades given by human teachers. Last year, we issued an even more difficult challenge. Can you take images of the eye and diagnose an eye disease called diabetic retinopathy? Again, the winning algorithms were able to match the diagnoses given by human ophthalmologists. Now, given the right data, machines are going to outperform humans at tasks like this. A teacher might read 10,000 essays over a 40-year career. An ophthalmologist might see 50,000 eyes. A machine can read millions of essays or see millions of eyes within minutes. we have no chance of competing against machines on frequent, high-volume tasks. But there are things that we can do that machines can't do. Where machines have made very little progress is in tackling novel situations. They can't handle things they haven't seen many times before. The fundamental limitation of machine learning is that it needs to learn from large volumes of past data. Now, humans don't. We have the ability to connect seemingly disparate threads to solve problems we've never seen before. Percy Spencer was a physicist working on radar during World War II when he noticed that the magnetron was melting his chocolate bar. So he was able to connect his understanding of electromagnetic radiation with his knowledge of cooking in order to invent, yes, a microwave oven. Now, this is a particularly remarkable example of creativity, but this sort of cross-pollination happens for each of us in small ways, thousands of times per day. Machines cannot compete with us when it comes to tackling novel situations, and this puts a fundamental limit on the human tasks that machines will automate. So what does this mean for the future of work? The future state of any single job lies in the answer to a single question. To what extent is that job reducible to frequent, high-volume tasks, and to what extent does it involve tackling novel situations? On frequent, high-volume tasks, machines are getting smarter and smarter. Today they grade essays, they diagnose certain diseases. Over coming years, they're going to conduct our audits, and they're going to read boilerplate from legal contracts. Accountants and lawyers are still needed. They're going to be needed for complex tax structuring, for path-breaking litigation. But machines will shrink their ranks and make these jobs harder to come by. Now, as mentioned, machines are not making progress on novel situations. The copy behind a marketing campaign needs to grab consumers' attention. It has to stand out from the crowd. Business strategy means finding gaps in the market, things that nobody else is doing. It will be humans that are creating the copy behind our marketing campaign, and it will be humans that are developing this strategy. So, Gali, whatever you decide to do, let every day bring you a new challenge. If it does, then you will stay ahead of the machines. Thank you.
Okay, so there are two questions that I want to ask you. One is, did you follow? Of course, we did have the subtitles, so I don't think you had a problem following the video. Yes? Okay, so what does this video tell you? What is it actually telling you?
He was just explaining about the future. Hello, ma'am. First of all, my name is Sapit. It was basically dealing about the situation. It's basically a concept of the machine learning, how it was in back in 19s. Starting of the 1900 and now and future, basically.
Okay, so it talks about machine learning.
Yes, ma'am.
And most of the time, what does it tell you? What is it telling you? Is it making your jobs easier to get, or is it making it tougher to get?
Actually, this is a balanced situation, basically. Even though the machines or the machine learning, which is a part of AI, it's going to make your job easy. At the same time, even though those jobs are lost by the humans, and they might be replaced with the new jobs.
Okay.
That's what it
Yeah, so
says
when
in
I
the...
show this to engineering college students, there's definitely an anxiety, because usually when we see machine learning, they relate it to, my God, coding jobs are going to become tougher. But if you actually see, machine learning is making progress in all fields. Okay? For example, audits can be conducted through machine learning. You can have audits through computers. The audits will be done by machines. So which means people in the financial background will have to be getting better. But however, when I see this video from a management student's point of view, let me hear a few other people what they have to say about this video, and then I can go on to tell you what are my views about this video. Any other person?
I am a management student, actually.
Okay, yeah.
Good morning, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, I'm Rajat.
Hi, Rajat.
According to me, the basic thing that he wants to relate is that machines can never cope up with humans. At the last, he's saying that whatever may be the machines, but the logic, the novel reasoning that a human has, that the machine doesn't have.
Okay.
So he's emphasizing that whatever be the machines would be there, artificial intelligence, as my friend always says, Saket, that there's always artificial intelligence. It will always overcome, because human brain are always above the artificial intelligence.
Yes. The whole thing is we are able to connect disparate thoughts. We are able, yes, there's another person who wants to say. Thank you so much, Rajat.
Ma'am, a machine learning technique is basically based on the data or empirical evidence of something, and human beings are capable of acting on the spot and taking instantaneous decisions. So I feel though the machines can replace human beings in some extents, like be it IT jobs or accounting, or maybe as a doctor or giving legal advice, it's ultimately the human beings who enact the laws, who discover the new processes, and we ultimately take the decisions about how to take things forward.
Okay,
So, though machines can replace us in some aspects, it's ultimately the humans who are capable of acting judiciously and taking decisions.
Wonderful. What's your name?
I'm Shivani.
Very good. Well said.
Good morning, ma'am. My
Yes.
name is Anurag.
I didn't hear your name.
Anurag.
Anurag.
What I've gathered from the video is that even though machines can replace the work done by humans, humans still need to invent them first.
Okay, fine. Yes. It is, see, one, I see hope for people who think differently and who are constantly striving to think of something new every day. It is only when it is high volume task, as you see, machines need data to learn from. But anything that has to do with the marketing campaign, which is for the people in marketing. Of course, there are new trends, digital marketing. You have digital marketing. You have marketing where you are actually influencing the customer. We've all bought in Amazon. All of us go through the different reviews that it puts up before making a conscious choice. Customers are becoming very, very intelligent. Yes, artificial intelligence is making our lives easy as customers because we have a lot of data to read and make decisions. However, when it comes to point of view of the employee, we have to strive to see that are we getting better and better in critical thinking skills and creative problem solving. So, the whole PDBC curriculum is designed for you to think. Of course, we are teaching you business communication, and definitely language plays an important part in communicating, language and structure. But we have tried to look at things from the viewpoint of the industry and inculcated, absorb certain things that are very essential for you to present and absorb to get successful in the industry. So now I'm going to be talking to you about what, yes?
Sorry to interrupt you. Can I add a point in that?
Yes, please do.
There's a past, future, and present and future.
Yeah.
All the artificial intelligence be in present. Past, maybe the human will be in the past, and in the future will be the man. So both the past and the future, man will be located. So the data is prepared from past by the man, and the future also will be done by innovation. Yes. Will be done by the future. So whatever the redundant works and what are the frequent works, he has showed the one graph, right? Whatever the redundant works and the frequent works are done, that are already done by the artificial intelligence.
So very good. See, what I want you all to look at is good point. You must strive to do something better than what machines are capable of. Machine can do something that is mundane. You get a machine is not going to tell you, I'm tired, I will not calculate beyond this. So, but human beings need to think beyond that and do something novel for them to stay on in the competitive world. Okay, so this is what the industry is looking for. If you look at the industry, they want you to solve complex problems. They want you to think critically. They want you to understand the data available in front of you and focus your mind towards segregating a fact and an opinion and be able to solve problems that way. They also want you to think, especially people in every field. I'm not talking only about the marketing. The marketing definitely requires creativity. But even if you are from the finance or from the HR, you still require to be creative in the way you think at what can be done for the company. Then, the most important thing is we are a generation, I think at least the generation now. If I pull away your phones from you, your smartphones, and say you're not going to be using it for 2 days, I think you will all come back to me crying. That's what I think. But however, the most important thing, what we find is, though we are connecting virtually, that physical connection or managing people, looking at understanding people, interacting with people has reduced a great deal. So people management is something that the company looks for. So many of our activities is done in teams so that you can work with each other, understand each other, and perform as a team. Coordination skills, again, that is again very essential for team. Understanding each other, being able to support each other, that's again very, very important. And a very key component called emotional intelligence. Okay, I'll leave it to my friend Joy to say a little more about that. She's an expert in that. So emotional intelligence is something that is very, very important in the current scenario. How do you learn to deal with your own emotions, and how do you learn to deal with other people's emotions? And of course, global language skills, understanding language. I'm just not talking about English. English is one language that you definitely have to pick up to be able to work in the current scenario, but any other foreign language that is essential for your work is also very, very important for you to pick up. So last time I found a couple of my students in IP who said, ma'am, I wish we had learned of Japanese, because TCS wanted people who have Japanese language, who had the competence of language. So what stops you guys? Now, the whole learning platform is in the tips of your fingers. With just a click of a button, you're able to access Coursera, where you can learn anything. You're able to have the edX platform where you can learn any about anything. It's all about one key important factor is, do you have the attitude to learn? So, okay, so personality development, different people say different things. And especially with soft skills, again, I have an expert in soft skills and she's going to be doing a little session on soft skills. So I'm not going to be dwelling too much on what these soft skills are and what it requires for you to become proficient in soft skills. So what is Talent Sprint's definition of personality development and business communication? As a program manager, I just have 3 points. Now, the first one is to improve your comprehension skill, understanding something and presenting it better. The second one is industries have this hurdle race. You know, they put you through one hurdle race of aptitude test, then you have the Versant test, then you have the, interview, and you also have one round of interview of your technical subjects, as in your marketing or your finance subjects. And then finally, one management round. So you have to pass so many hurdle races to get offer letter. And better your interview performance. These are the 3 takeaways that I want from the PDBC session as a program manager. Other takeaways, see, I want you to be able to get a B2 in Versant, or better, a C1 in Versant, which is the highest in Versant. I will get you all do a little bit of homework on that on your own, and find out what B2 and C1 are. So probably on the first day of the PDBC class, your trainers will ask you, now, have you done the homework? Because I like giving homework. And so what does the PDBC curriculum look like? So remedial English, it's been segregated into 3 components. Remedial English, business communication, and industry orientation and interview preparation. So remedial English will help you better your language skills. I'm sure, how many of you all really want to better your language and vocabulary skills? Raise your hands. Okay, so all of you, great. So that will be dealt in the first half. So once you have the basic language and vocabulary, the next is to structure it. You need to structure it and get it into a cogent manner. So that's what the business communication aspect will help you. Now that you have language and vocabulary, you will need to structure it. So we have professional communication where you have listening, speaking, reading and writing. So you have all the 4 components which is going to be covered in the middle block, which is the business communication. And the last block is the industry orientation, where we actually get you ready for interviews. Yes, you will get ready for your interviews in the first trimester itself. But of course, remember, you have to practice this to sustain it till your drives. So you will have simulation, interview simulations, GD presentations. You also will have resume writing and the corporate survival skills, etiquette, how do you write emails, how do you get to interact with someone, how do you speak on the phone, because many times interviews happen through the telephone nowadays. How do you speak on the call? All that will be dealt with the last component. Then the business aptitude is the 20-hour program. The first one is a 3-credit program. The second one is a 2-credit program, which we will do in the 3rd trimester. So I had too many in this block anyway. So quantitative aptitude and reasoning skills, logical reasoning will be dealt with. We will not be doing verbal aptitude, which is part of aptitude, because we already covered it mostly in the PDBC sections. We have remedial English, and that is what is going to help you. However, we will handhold you through our online portal called Score More. Can you kind of guess what it is? Okay, one is a gym, and the other one looks like a salon. Okay, thank you at least. Yeah, so good. So you're from the, the fit people. So lot to learn from y'all. So now when you look at the left and the right, and I also have our title, our methodology. What do you think, which one do we follow? The one on the left or one on the right? Only the left, not both of them. See, we are definitely not here. I'm sure if I want to improve your communication skills, there's me sitting and talking for a long time. So we definitely adapt or adopt the one that is on the left. So what we do is we give you a lot of reading material for you to read and come prepared to class. Of course, more of it will be talked to you by my friend Joy. She will tell you what kind of things, expectations we have from you. We will also like to know your expectation. We'll pass around sheets where we want to know what is your expectation from our classes. Okay? So the gym methodology is what we follow. We want you to see, when you pay fees in a gym, there's no way your trainer will do the exercise and you will get fit. Is that possible? No. So it's very important that when you pay up in a gym, that you follow up, on a regular basis and you work it out. So that's what we want you to do. Okay, so if you actually see why we have adopted the gym thing, is the gym kind of methodology is, if you look at it, 90% of what we both say and do is what we retain. The learning pyramid is, if you just listen to, just read, you may forget. If you hear, you will sustain it for some time. But when you actually practice it, you will be able to retain it forever. It will go into your permanent memory. So, how do we conduct our classes? Our classes is, there are a variety of activities where we'll ensure that you are not bored at any point of time. And we do have experienced faculty who actually know when you're bored and will change the kind of activity. Okay, so especially the one after lunch, we will ensure that you have high level participation classes so that you are not going off to sleep. We'll ensure that. Okay? So participation is, we cannot keep saying participate, participate. No, that's not what we want to do. We want you to participate in the ask questions. We are not going to be giving you minus marks for asking questions. We'd like you to come up with solutions. See, I always find in the student community is when they're not happy, they stay away from the classes. But staying away from the classes is neither going to help you nor is going to help the management understand what to fix. So please come and talk it over with your trainer, and you can always reach out to me when you want to talk about some things that you want to better. I will be very happy to listen from you and try how we can work out a solution. Are you all clear? Will you all do that? Why do I hear a very mild yes, yeah? Yeah, thank you. Okay, so sequence is, because we have structured it, the content builds on itself. So you have language at the early days, then we go on to structure, then you are competent to start being evaluated. So the sequence is, the structure, the content is going to build on itself. From a basic level, you go on to an advanced level. And the instructor led, of course, even in gyms, you have a certain bit done by the instructor. The instructor has to tell you that you have to use this particular instrument for so many minutes. So similarly, our trainers will help you talk about, get to understand what you really need to work on. So this is a sample of activity-based, okay? Sometimes when people want to sit down to be more comfortable, there's a reading exercise, vocabulary learning exercise done by students. Okay, so how do we support you through our online portal? So this is another thing that I want to talk to you about. We have an online portal called Score More, where we give you access. The access is given to you within the first 2 weeks of you joining the class. So whatever you have learned, we have a weekend test called a business communication test put up on that portal, which caters to listening, speaking, reading, and writing. So that is something that we want you to do on a regular basis. And how does that help is, sometimes learning that day, you will learn that, and then after that, you will tend to forget. So to keep it sustained, we handhold you through the online portal. For those who need to learn, you have around 1,500 video lessons on language, also on aptitude and reasoning skills, and it is customized so that you have a very basic introductory session, and you have an advanced session. So you can go back to revisit. Please, that does not compensate for classroom training. Classroom training is essential for solving your problems on a face-to-face and improving confidence levels. Say, anyway, we have the online portal, we can go and learn. But there are a lot of things that cannot be done remote or all by yourself. You need a classroom situation. Remember, you learn 25% from the trainer, 25% from your colleagues and friends who are there in the class with you, 50% from your own effort and your participation in the class. So if you want to learn on your own, that cannot happen. Okay, so we also have what is called the Net Promoter Score, where we send you a link every month to understand how you are enjoying our classes and you're learning from it. I'm sure all of you have gone to Domino's. You get that. How did what was your experience with Domino? Rate us on a scale of 1 to 10. It's very, very similar. The last time we had again, this is 79% NPS from IPE. So IPE students were very happy. 79 on a global scale is excellent. The students really enjoyed our classes. Okay, so now I'm going to be introducing the trainers. I'd like to call upon Joy to take over the session on how to learn.
Morning, boys and girls. Morning, rather, ladies and gentlemen, because you're on the verge of entering the big bad world where, yes, it's nice to be dignified, it's nice to be respected. Now, what I have to tell you is like an overview of soft skills. Now, first of all, what is soft skills? Soft skills is something that's apart from your very hard knowledge that you have all acquired from your books. Soft skills comes from within you. It is built up over a period of time. It's not something that I can give you overnight. What does soft skills entail? It means that you, when you are part, it's a required quality for anybody entering either a group of any kind, either you're in a meeting, you're in a company, you're in a classroom session, something where you fit in. That is what soft skills gives you. And where does it come from? It comes from your own personal values, your beliefs, your motivation, your integrity, and of course, communication skills. Now let's take one small thing called the values. We all grow up with values. Where do values come from? From your homes. So you know that old story where a robber's son will be a robber and a doctor's son will be a doctor. How does that happen? It happens because that's the environment you grow up in. So that's where, this is one of the very small things. It's a small example. But all your motivation, your attitude, your behavior, everything comes from your values that you have imbibed from your homes. Psychologists say that by the time a child is 10, he has already made up all his values. Now, how do your values affect your behavior? Let me give you a small example. Like, I know of people who have, they've been brought up in a policeman's house. I'm talking of across the board. So policemen are known to have a certain kind of corruption. Certain kind. I'm not saying they're all corrupt. Please, I'm not saying that. But yeah, a certain level of corruption. So this child, growing up, he comes to realize a few things. He says, okay, it's all right for me to take a few pencils back home from the office. It's okay for me to filch some papers from the office. Very small things. Don't mean very much, but it's the lack of integrity. When I got married, I married an Air Force pilot. I came into the Air Force family, where everyone learned to share. And in that particular environment, it didn't matter whether you were a Hindu or a Christian or a Muslim, it didn't matter. Because when the pilots went up in the air, each one looked out for the other. That is how they flew. That is how they saved each other. That is how they looked after each other. one of the greatest things about soft skills is your interpersonal skills. How do you get along with the others? Now, if you have a certain value which says, oh, I don't like ABC. Why? Because he comes from Z community. I don't like him. Now, that will influence your attitude, it'll influence your motivation, it'll influence you in so many ways. The point I'm trying to make here is your flexibility. You may have your values, but you will learn to get along with people. A very, very important thing. When we talk about motivation, can anybody tell me here what is motivation? Anyone? Yes? Yeah, it's a driving force towards getting your goals. That is what it is. Motivation is what drives you. Why are you guys here? You're looking for an MBA, right? And that is why you are here. And you have struggled, you have worked very hard to come to this level. And at the end of it, your motivation is to get that 7-figure salary, right? अच्छा ठीक है, 7-figure नहीं तो 6 तो चलेगा, right? To begin with, and then move on. That is what your motivation has to be. At every level, there has to be a motivation. You cannot be a part of a learning process until there is a drive. You have to be a constant learner. Learn from as many sources as you can. We were just talking about artificial intelligence. The whole world and the internet is full of information. Make use of that. Vatsala was talking about learning a language. It's all there. The pronunciations is what makes a language difficult. But it's all there. Your ability to learn, your flexibility, and the ability to learn constantly is also a part of your soft skills. You are here to make your learning better. Does that make sense? But you see, the thing is, it's not just like Vatsala said, you guys are the ones who are going to speak. You have to tell us, you have to tell me as your trainer, you have to tell me what you want. Tell me about yourself. Tell me about your feelings. Tell me about your thoughts. That will come with your communication skills, your interpersonal skills. How much do you want to trust me with your deepest secrets? That too is a part of your soft skills.
If you look at it, I will have to probably speak about half an hour or 45 minutes about her. So if you want anything that you want to ask her,
Please do.
This whole thing is about you. So we want you to be the heroes and heroines of this session. So we want you to ask her, okay? We all look up to her for a lot of knowledge. She has been an editor in The Hindu, has written books, has trained many college students long before, of course, you were born, and I shouldn't say, I wouldn't want to reveal because I still think of her as ever 16. Yeah.
So any questions for Shamala, please? Shamala is going to be one of your trainers, so we don't know which batches that she will be allocated to, but there's another trainer who is not here today. So we have this time the range or the ages. You have Shamala, you have Joy, and you have Vaishnavi, who is probably very close to your age. So you have 3 trainers who will be handling the PDBC sessions at IP. So if you have any questions for Shamala, please open up and ask questions. So you can direct it to any of us. Or if you want to wait and see what Joy has to say, and then ask any of us any questions, we'll be more than happy to do so. Okay, after that, what I want you to do is once Joy has finished her session, I want you to write down what is your expectations from the personality development and business communication classes and from the business aptitude. Let's first look at personality development and business communication classes. Okay, that's it, Shamala. No questions for Shamala? Okay, there is a question. Okay.
Good morning, ma'am. Ma'am, I would like to ask you a personal question if you don't mind.
Yeah, tell me.
Ma'am, you came from a normal family to an Air Force family.
Yes.
How was your feeling coming into an Air Force family? It takes too much.
See, I'll have to tell you once again about my own background. I come from a very large family, and a family of girls. Very large family of girls. Okay, so that's for all the girls here. And for my wonderful father, who didn't believe that, okay, girls need to get married at the age of 16. We were all very well educated. We were encouraged to play games. We were encouraged to travel. We were encouraged to go out and compete in various university level games. And public speaking. I was a president of the Rotaract Club in Meerut before I started working, before I got married. So public speaking was... And then being a teacher forever. It feels like forever, because I can't think of myself as not having been a teacher. Currently, not teaching in a school, but I teach soldiers. Helping them to improve their English. These are recruited soldiers at the AOC Center, that is the Army Ordnance Corps. They are going to be the clerical staff across the country. So all that put together, the transition was not difficult, because I came from a family where I was respected, and then came to a family where I was given an elevated status. I became Mrs. Khanna. I'm basically a Bengali, married a Punjabi fighter pilot against my parents' wishes. But my life in the Air Force was exceptional. Exceptional. Very tough, because you had to make do with so little money all the time. One more reason to join work. Make my little pocket money. Remember those days, 200 rupees went a very long way. And that was my first salary. So I've come a long way. But I've enjoyed every bit of it. I have no cribs. And I'm very happy that I have been able to interact with young people of your intellect and understanding. And I look forward to my classes with you.
Namaste, ma'am. My name is Satvik. I have a small question regarding journalism, actually. It's about a recent murder case of Gauri Lankesh, who's one of the famous journalists in India, as well as in Bangalore, I guess. I'm not that aware of her. Recently, she was shot dead by 3 unknown people, and it was some religious issue. May I know why only these aggressive acts go only in India? Will be there in full stop for this these type of acts in the future nearby?
Now that's a political question with a lot of religious overtones, right? Yes. So how do people in India, why do we have so much of this?
Yes, ma'am, that's my
I'll tell you why. This is something that I've repeated again and again, is that we are too many people chasing too few facilities. Tomorrow when you're in a position where you have a six-figure salary, you have your own car, you drive to work, you come back, and you have a temper which is on a, what should I say, a very short spring. You will lose it when things don't go according to the way you want them. But that is what is happening to a lot of younger people who do not have your qualifications, who do not have jobs, who do not have any kind of comfort from home. So they are looking for the smallest excuse. This is my journalist approach to things the way they are. There is a certain element, a lumpen element I would call it, where there's lack of education, lack of opportunities, and therefore for a small amount of money, 30,000 rupees is what Gauri Lankesh's killer was given. For a small amount of money, they're willing to take a life. Little realizing that you're in it for the rest of your life. And that again goes back to your childhood, to the values you've been brought up with. Does that answer your question?